today on VIP TV, Kane Baker, a boxer who's become very popular over the last couple of years with fans. You know, they've seen him on TV, you see him on Facebook, always got a great positive outlook, had a big win on Sky last time. Thanks for joining us, Kane. How are you?
I'm very well, Steve, mate. Thanks for having the time for me, mate.
Yeah, it's great to catch up with you. As I was saying to you, I haven't spoke to you properly for 2-3 years. So are you boxing in? Oh, I've got my daughter's tracksuit there. Are you on this Eddie's big Gibraltar bill now that's been moved back?
Yes, I'm on the Gibraltar bill. Oh, what's that on?
Yeah, so tell us about your fight on that bill.
I'm fighting a lad called Yusuf Kamari. 10 round contest it's going to be. So yeah, it's on pay-per-view. I'm just blessed. I just can't. I pinch myself all the time, Steve. I really, honestly can't. Boxing fan with a license is on pay-per-view.
I've got to ask you about that. You call yourself boxing fan with a license, but do you feel you're doing yourself a bit of disservice doing that? Because you're not a bad fighter. I'm not going to sit here and say you're Teofimo Lopez, but you're a decent fighter, aren't you?
Yeah, I've improved, definitely. I've improved a lot, but that's what I started out with. Really, I was just a boxing fan, and then I did get a license. So it's I've used that slogan for a while, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Really, I'm still a massive boxing fan. I still tune into all the boxing, and I still shout me combos at the telly. But now I get to watch myself on the telly sometimes, which is mad.
Yeah. What's it going to be like being on a pay-per-view and all your mates have got to pay 20 quid or whatever it is to watch you?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the support and the interest and all the people that are messaging me, and it's mad. I'm getting an insight to like what some of these boxers that I've followed for years and look up to, how they live, and it's crazy to even be in the association and the mix with some of the names that are on a Dillian White pay-per-view card. If you'd have asked me that a few years ago, I would have fought Dillian White to get on the card.
I mean, where do you think this popularity that you seem to have has come from?
I think because I can relate to a lot of people. I've been on a weight loss journey. I've had some tough times in my life, really, over the last. Well, when did I start boxing? I was probably about 19. So over the last 10, 11 years, I've been through some real ups and downs, and a lot of people that message me, and people say they say they're my fans, but they're my friends, really. I just can relate to a lot of things, and I've just got a boxing license. I'm no different to anyone else. I'm really just a normal kid.
Yeah, it's why I wanted to speak to you. You're 14-7, and how you suddenly people have taken to you. Usually fighters with your record, they doesn't get they get the respect because you're boxing, you're getting in that ring, and there's plenty of fighters with similar records to you who give their all every time they get in the ring. But you seem to be the one people have taken to. Eddie Hearn seems to have taken to you and put you on shows. I mean, he doesn't give you easy fights, but he puts you in fights where you're going to be competitive all the time.
Yeah, it's I must be likable, Steve. So there's something they must like about me. I think it's just because I'm quite honest and real, and with anyone, whether it be someone, just a normal person that I speak to, or my neighbour, or Eddie Hearn, or someone. I don't change who I am, and some of the fighters, they do, and they would say they would fight anyone, and they wouldn't, and they love having the padded record, and I'm really not about a record or such like that, and people are getting to with boxing has changed. I think COVID has changed boxing a bit as well, and they just want to see 50-50 scraps, and they want to see people years ago, like that's people would lose and lose, would be working because I was working boxing, and then I'm just on a journey, and like I invite everyone to jump in on it, and I can relate and talk to everyone. I've been through some tough times and I'm just a normal guy, you know, who's a year ago was running up on a roof and still taking fights on short notice, and then since COVID, I've been a full-time boxer, and I'm living the life. Like,
how do you manage to live full time as a boxer? Because you need to live, and you're getting good fights, but you're not earning life changing money at this moment, are you?
no, I'm not only life changing, but I'm very, very blessed. I've got some sponsors that they're like my friends as well, and I've got county clean and nitrous competitions, and they're paying for my training and for me to live like a full-time athlete, and without them I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, when you were, obviously, very early in your career, you stepped in against Conor Benn, but when you were losing, say, against Sanjeev, who's become Sanjeev Sahota, was the last time I was with you, and a very, very close fight at York Hall. It could have gone either way, we know that. But did you think then, when you was having to take fights a couple divisions above what you were, you'd be like this a few years on?
No, I don't think I ever dreamt it. I remember getting a taxi to York Hall to fight Sanjeev Sahota, and I took the taxi driver in and said he was my cornerman to give him a free ticket. Like, I've been on some mad. I went to Belfast on 24 hours notice, and just some crazy, just for the love of boxing, and that's all I do. I just really, really love. Even when I was 14 odd stone and I had problem with drink and drugs, like, boxing would be my getaway. Even though I wasn't boxing, watching the boxing would be like my release. And now to be able to fight on the TV and help other people that are struggling or are overweight, and I really am absolutely blessed. But it's not. It hasn't been given to me on a plate. I've worked.
Hey, look.
Really hard.
I get that. No one's matching you easy. We know that. You're not getting. You're not getting. You've won 3 out of your last 4, but you're not getting matched easy in any of them. I think 2 of them were unbeaten, weren't they? 5-0 fighters, I think, were they?
Yeah. That's it. But I wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't want to fight journeyman, or I never have. And when I have done, I feel like I can't because I respect them so much for what they do. I can't fight at my best against a journeyman. I don't like selling tickets to my fans against someone I should beat. I would rather be in there against someone I should lose against, and then I really have to step up my game.
What weight do you think you're best at? Lightweight, or are you a super lightweight now? So I've seen, you've been doing lightweight, but you've been around the super lightweight the last couple of fights.
Yeah, well, my next fight's a super feather.
Oh God, really?
Really, and I started off my career.
That's mad. So what was it like then? Okay, when you were fighting almost between super light and welter against guys like similar ability but naturally bigger guys. What's it like when is it the strength? What's it like when you're trying to throw them off you? These sort of guys.
Yeah, you can notice it. You definitely and all this, like the rehydration and stuff. So sometimes you would weigh in the day before, and that I would think, we're about the same size, and then the next day I'd think, wow. When I fought Conor Benn at welter and Sam Maxwell at super lightweight, they're absolutely massive. My coach did say to me when I first went there, he said, if you was a full-time athlete and you was training, because I was training like once a day, or I'd run when I was working, I'd get up at 4 or 5 o'clock and run. Then I'd go to work 6 till 5 and come home, try and go to the gym. And then I was doing it that way. And obviously working with the lads, and I was working with my mates and McDonald's and certain things, and my diet was dreadful, atrocious, really. So the weight never come round. I was always floating between 10 and 10 stone 7, and I thought that was, but now 2 times a day and having a proper diet, my weight is really a 10 stone, and then I can go down to lightweight or super feather even. And I think if I started a lot earlier, I probably would have made featherweight.
But you're not going to do that now, are you? So, I mean,
No.
you're 30 now, aren't you, as well? As you get older, the body gets,
Yeah, it gets harder, and your body you get a bit bigger, and I think super feathers where I'm going to stay at. But if someone come up at lightweight, and I would always take. My coach says that I've been offered things at super lightweight, and I said, yeah, I'll have it. And my coach said, you got to stop that now. You can't. You got to stay lightweight or super feather, because there's a saying, you're punching above your weight. I've been doing it with my missus for 10 years, but boxing's harder.
I've only met your wife once. It was at your court, the Sanj fight, when it was working for Box Nation that night. I see a lot of your social media, and it's obvious how close you two are. What has she done for your life?
Absolutely flipped and reversed it upside down. I mean, 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago, when I first met her, I was working in a bank. I was 14 stone, and I lost my job, and I got arrested for suspicion of murder. I was there was a pub altercation in a pub fight, and someone sadly lost their life, and I was arrested for murder, and I hit the bottle really bad, and I hit the bottle really bad, and I was taking drugs, and my life was really, I had no reason to even live. I was really, really, really down. I'd never, looking back now, it's mad how it was. And then I met my partner, and she just completely changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. She because I knew I was punching above my weight, and I'd lied to her, and I said I'd still got my job in the bank, and I was doing well, but really I was bad. I was in a bad situation. I was homeless. I'd lost my job, and I was just, as Frank Bruno would say, I was ducking and diving. And she when I blagged her for a while, for a few months, and then she found out, she'd seen stuff in the papers. People had said things, but by then I think I'd got her, and she'd fell in love with me, and she just changed me. She took me away from bad places where I was hanging around. She took me out the pubs, and she pushed me into the gym, really, and into boxing. I had done a white collar boxing before that, but I was never going to do it again. And she just pushed me into it, and then the weight loss started, and I was being healthier, and I started working with my because when I worked in the bank, I used to always say to my mum and my mum's partner, I never told my mum, but I used to say, I don't want to work here. I want to work with my hands. And I was thinking more like building, roofing, that kind of bricklaying, that kind of thing. And I've ended up punching with my hands.
So before we let you go, hand on heart, where do you think this boxing story is going to take you now? How far can you go?
Well, it's took me to the top of like, really. I've boxed on most of the platforms. I've boxed on the TV. I'm topping it with a pay-per-view. I've fought for titles. I've won a title. There's no stopping me now, really. The sky's the limit. I'm going to keep fighting because it's good for me, Steve. It really, really. Some people are born fighters. I'm not the most skillfulest boxer, but if they haven't put the will in, will beat skill for me if they don't work hard enough. And one thing I do is I work so hard. Every time, I'm the hardest working in any gym I go to. I never stop because I just want to keep bettering myself.
I mean, when you was having these losses, a few years ago, is there any loss where you've left the ring where you've kicked yourself and thought, I could have won that if I trained for 2 more weeks. If I'd done this, I've done that. Has there been any of those that you think if there's one fight you could reverse, what would it have been and done things differently?
None of them. None. I would have done none of them. I've loved it, and I've lost to some people, and they've been close fights. But I've made some great friends and met some great people like yourself. And it's just no, I wouldn't change one thing. I wouldn't reverse one loss, because I learned in my losses are probably my biggest learning curves, and they made me the fighter I am today.
I mean, I'm thinking of things like, the Sanji fight that was so close, where if I'd done a bit more in that round, or if we'd made it 3 pounds lighter, stuff like that, nothing at all.
No. I'd literally just come back off holiday for the Sanjis, so I hadn't really been training too tough. And no, I wouldn't change it. Like, my van broke down on the way to the train station. I had to get a taxi, but all of that is part of my little story. Me and my missus, we laugh, and she's writing a book on some of the things that we've done, because people honestly wouldn't believe some of the stuff that we've done in boxing, and it's just that it makes me smile. And if something makes you smile, it's not worth changing.
You know what? I think it's your incredible honesty. I'm just chatting to you here for 15 minutes, whatever. But I'm always trying to what has made people warm to you, and I think it's stuff like the answer to the question there. Well, I wouldn't change a loss. There's nothing I regret from the losses. How many fighters say I only had a week's notice? If I had 2 weeks, I would have won. You haven't said that about any of them, and I think it's that honesty people really warm to with you.
Yeah, but if I would have, I might have not had that opportunity. And if I would change it, I'd rather the opportunity, whether it'd be a week's notice or 24 hours, I would much rather have the opportunity. When I went to Belfast on 24 hours, I remember I'd finished work and brought myself some beers and some Pringles and a little setup to watch the Frampton Bill. And then my manager phoned and said, you can fly out in the morning. I'd paid to watch it. And like, I was sitting there and I was at work with the lads, and I says, I can fight on that show. Do you know the one we got the beer in the van for it to watch it? And I was like, I can fight on it. I'm going to go. There's no way I'm not going.
And what happened that night? Tell us about who did you fight that night?
I fought a great lad, Gary Cully.
Oh yeah.
6 foot, but he's on now fighting for like a European. Yeah. And same as well, they're fighting. So some of these guys that I have lost to, I'm loving watching their careers, and to say I've been in with them. And like, I could have quite easily turned that down and drank my 8 cans and watched it on the telly, but instead I was there. And like, that's the memories me and my miss, because my missus got to come with me on that show, and we flew out, and it was amazing. Absolutely. There ain't one thing in the boxing that hasn't been good to me. Yeah. And people say it's tough, but I haven't. I'm living the dream, as they say, really.
Is your missus going to Gibraltar with you?
No, not looking good. I really wish it could, but it is what it is. And she's because I did say at first, if you can't come, I'm not going. But she pushes me on. She'd never want me to miss any opportunities either. So she's supporting me, and she'll be watching, and with the rest of my friends and family. And I'm going to go out there and put on the best show, the best Kane Baker I can, because now I've worked hard, and now I get time and opportunities to train properly. I just want to go and put it all together and show them, and hopefully make them proud of me.
Yeah. Final question before we let you go is maybe one you might not like answering. Who's the best you fought so far?
It is hard because of the weights and to say, but Conor Ben, because I was always a massive fan of him. He can whack. Really? Obviously the weight as well, but I just really like him. He's a lovely guy, and he's so exciting to watch. He can be hurt himself. He's not indestructible, but even when he is, he comes back and he can whack. And his improvement for me, watching his career, like even from when he fought me, is massive. So but I watch every single one of them,
Yeah.
Sam Mack was really good. Gary Cully was
You mentioned earlier.
excellent. All of the lads I've been in with that have beat me, most of them are really good lads, and I'm obsessed with watching their stories and cheering them on and saying, oh, I've been in with him.
Oh, well, you know what? It's been a great 20 minutes talking to you. You know, your story's fascinating, and I'm sure when that book does come out eventually in a few years, there's going to be a few more chapters that are going to be added to it.
Yes, definitely. I'll have to get a run in with you and Curtis in there as well.
Oh, mate, me and Gargano was just on the phone to me before. He wants to go up a hill on Saturday, mate. He's doing Ironman. He's doing amazing, Curtis, with his running. From, you know, considering he's only just started from scratch.
I watch all your stuff on the media and social medias, and I love it. I absolutely love it, mate.
All right.
It's
well,
brilliant.
I can't thank you enough, and I'll send your best to Curtis as well.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you do.
Thanks a lot, Kane. An absolute honour talking to you again.
Oh, absolute pleasure to speak to you. Don't leave you so long next time, please.
No, we'll get you on after Gibraltar that week after, whatever happens that night, and you can tell me about life in the bubble with Dillian and Eddie in Gibraltar. That's when we'll do it, straight after Gibraltar. I'm
looking forward to it, mate. I'm really looking forward to it.
Take care.
And you, Steve. Great speaking to you, mate.
Bye-bye, mate.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.